Welcome to the 23rd International Conference on Information Fusion, the first Fusion conference ever to be hosted as an exclusively virtual event. I am Peter de Villiers, the General Co-Chair of this year's event. Of course, we would have liked to welcome you to South Africa for the first time, but nature had other plans. Fortunately, Fusion 2021 is planned to be held in South Africa, and we look forward to it with great excitement and anticipation. It was a lot of hard work to migrate to a virtual event, and thanks to everyone for their commitment and for making it possible. Notably, we would like to thank the Fusion community, as well as the International Society of Information Fusion for their support to make the virtual event possible. Our program mostly resembles the original plan for the South Africa conference, but due to the pandemic, we had a number of adaptations and changes. We invited a different team of keynote speakers to better reflect the current focus. Before we explore the details, I would like to invite the ISIF President, Paulo Costa, for a few words about our society.
A few months ago, we were all set for a regular Fusion conference, but then came the pandemic, and with it, a bunch of changes that really threatened our flagship event. We then asked for our community for support, and support we've got. As we start the 23rd Fusion Conference, the International Society of Information Fusion is boldly going to new frontiers. This year, we are exploring the cyberspace with our first virtual conference. Next year, we will be bringing Fusion to Africa, which will then be followed by Linköping, Sweden in 2022 and Charleston, USA in 2023. In a time where changes are the norm, ISIF has been working hard to adapt, to modernize itself. We've been updating our procedures, bringing more transparency, adding value to our membership, all to ensure the continuity of this great community. All of this is done with the support of volunteers of our community, either servicing ISIF board or in one of its committees, acting as conference chairs, journal editors, session chairs, or simply helping the society. In the end, it is our community that allow us to be where we are now. This year, I will be concluding my service as the ISIF president, and will be welcoming Professor Simon Maskell as the new president. Most of you know Simon as the organizer of the superb Fusion Conference in Edinburgh, Scotland. For us in the board, he's one of the driving forces pushing for transparency and modernization. He will have a tough journey ahead, but he will be as lucky as I was in having so much support from our members. I wish him all the best. Finally, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the Fusion 2020 team for such a superb job under dire circumstances. This time we will not be meeting in the corridors or attractions. Yet, all the other ingredients are there. Make sure you leverage what they prepared for us. Have a wonderful Fusion 2020.
Fusion 2020 will be a completely virtual conference, in contrast to, for instance, 2022, where we'll meet at this place in Linköping. One of the few advantages with the virtual conference is that you can watch the pre-recorded material wherever and whenever you want to. And we will have an extremely exciting program this year. It starts on Monday with tutorials showcasing many of the classical areas of information fusion. For the technical program, we got 230 submissions, of which 167 were accepted. That corresponds to a 73% acceptance rate. There are 13 special sessions, split up in 39 sessions in the technical program. Both the tutorials and the special sessions will showcase many of the classical areas in information fusion, but also some new exciting ones. All papers will be presented on IEEE Explore in the usual way, but also indexed by Scopus. And this was possible by having a strict review process with 3 written statements by different reviewers on each paper. We will have 3 keynote speakers. This year we have a theme for the keynotes. They will all present fusion-related research on the COVID-19 spread and the coronavirus, we will get perspectives from both Africa, Europe and the US. Finally, we have an award ceremony where the winners of the Best Paper and Best Student Papers will be announced. Since pre-recorded presentations tend to be more focused and to the point, we have shortened the time frame somewhat from the usual times at Fusion conferences. That implies that you can watch more videos and jump back and forth between sessions and presentations as you want. Alte de Waal will next describe the tools you have for managing this.
For many of us, this is our first international online conference. I wish to highlight a few aspects on how you can make the most of your Fusion 2020 virtual conference experience. The main platform is Wova. You can download the phone app and search for the 23rd International Conference on Information Fusion. Alternatively, you can navigate the virtual conference program on the web app. A link to the program can be found on the Fusion 2020 conference website under Program. The URL is shown below. As Frederick said, you can watch all the pre-recorded videos whenever it suits you. We have maintained the structure of the typical Fusion on-site conference sessions. You will find the sessions and special sessions in the agenda on Wova. Although you can watch any of the presentations prior to or during the conference at your leisure, there are 2 time slots allocated for each presentation, which allows for a live Q&A session with the opportunity to ask questions to the authors. As with an on-site conference, the sessions will be chaired. In order to accommodate all time zones, we created 2 Q&A time slots for each session, an Eastern and Western session. Detailed information can be found on the guidelines page of the Fusion 2020 website. Plenary presentations are also pre-recorded, but each plenary session only has 1 Q&A session, which is indicated in the agenda. The award ceremony at the gala dinner is always a greatly anticipated event. With Virtual Fusion 2020, the award session will also be pre-recorded and made available on Wednesday, 8 July. Finally, we have a photo competition dedicated to our pets. They are our faithful and unwavering companions, standing by us during this worldwide pandemic, and they will be attending Fusion 2020 conference right by your sides. Post a photo of your pet or pets with you in the photo as well. On the Wova app home screen, scroll down to additional resources and click on the photo block for information on the photo competition. As a bonus, you can win great prizes for Fusion 2021 in South Africa next year.
Undoubtedly, the COVID-19 pandemic has changed the world. It has had some tragic consequences and has brought the world to a virtual standstill. It has also highlighted what is possible with technology, and many of us were able to continue working remotely. This was also true for the organization of this conference, which was exclusively arranged using tools like Skype, WebEx, Google Drive, Google Forms, and Zoom. We as the general co-chairs would like to thank the organizing committee, who spent many hours switching from organizing an on-site event only to a purely virtual event. Many lessons were learned, including navigating schedules over many time zones and compiling guidelines for video presentations, as well as live question and answer sessions. Fortunately, the spirit of collaboration over many countries and time zones has prevailed and has made the Fusion community stronger. We look forward to virtually meeting you at the 2020 23rd International Conference on Information Fusion, and wish you all a wonderful conference.